longer standing in the firing line. Getting close to going broke, but you have made your bed. Make you choke on every single word you ever said. So come at me with your knives, the blood streaming down from your face. I got a loaded gun, oh you better run. So mock me and cut me, I'm bringing out my knives. Get back up, come try your luck, it never seems to pay. Always starting something, live to fight another day. Blinded by your hatred, don't know what you're fighting for. Might have won the battle, but you'll never win the war. So come at me with your knives, the blood streaming down from your face. I got a loaded gun, oh you better run. So mock me and cut me, I'm bringing out my knives.
how you all doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. So, what's going on, everyone? What is going on, everyone? Yes, indeed, we are starting. So how about we really gotta take this? How about we do this now, eh? Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellyan responding to your distress call.
Wow.
Isaac Clarke.
What have you got, Isaac?
Half the Ishimura's in the
Damn,
wreck.
holy
Engines,
shit.
hull, the trams.
Can you handle it alone?
Fix the centrifuge. Get the fuel running.
Holy crap, man.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
Oh my god. Shit, that's it, man.
Humanity will be made whole, Mr. Clarke. With or without you.
Isaac, it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
Nicole?
Nice. Nice. Fucking very nice. Alright, let's go through it again, shall we? Let's watch again.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellyan responding to your distress call.
Isaac Clarke.
What have you got, Isaac?
Half the Ishimura's in the red. Engines, hull, the trams.
Can you handle it alone?
Fix the centrifuge. Engines, hull.
What have you got, Isaac?
Okay, so we got Hammond there. You got Hammond. Also got somebody else. I'm not too sure who that is. Probably one of the pilots. The Necromorph Bait, as people call him. But yeah, no idea who the second person is. But yeah.
Ishimura's in the red. Engines, hull, the trams.
Can you handle it alone?
Fix the centrifuge. Get the fuel running.
Alright, let's go back. No, not that bit.
Get the fuel running.
There you go. What sign is that? They bring others. They bring others.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
Whoa, go back. What is that? Is that a lurker? The slashes, They look great. Pale and all that. Like a dead body would look. Oh wow. Hang on a minute. So this is the trench area for the ADS cannon stuff. I wonder how we're going to, what do you call it, get by all the asteroids and all that stuff, everything coming towards us. I'm assuming that, what do you call it, all of these bits of debris, essentially, are going to play a key part in that gameplay, essentially. That's what's going to happen. It's not just going to be asteroids flying towards us in the trench. It's also going to be debris coming from parts of the ship as well. So that's an interesting key point right there. Nice little bit of corruption. Possibly chapter 6, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say this is in chapter 6. Whoa, go back. Got a nice little leaper shot there. Nice little leapers. Ah, that's a lurker. Okay. When I first saw this, essentially, I thought that might have been a fodder from Dead Space 3, and I was like, oh, hell no, they're not bringing those back, are they? Because not only were they annoying to deal with, they were really shit as well. Let's just be fair. The fodders in Dead Space 3 should not be in Dead Space, so I'm pretty happy that that's just a lurker. So we go back again. So we see here, this is the force gun. There you go, there's your little force gun there, Helios. Flamethrower. And I want to go back again. Now we get to see the new design for the Leaper. This is what I was kind of this is what I was looking forward to the most, was the Leaper design. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, before I watched the trailer, I did see a thumbnail for a Leaper, and I was just like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. That looks so shit. And it's like, oh, no, okay, never mind. It's alright, you know. Thanks, IGN, you know, for giving me the shit version of the Leaper in your thumbnail. Nice. What kind of necromorphs are these? Slasher variants. Kind of look like EarthGov slashers. I'm not gonna lie, they look like EarthGov slashers. Yeah, some of the necromorphs do have glowing eyes, but as you can see, like, what do you call it? We go back. Yeah, that does look like a enhanced Leaper. It does look enhanced. It's got darker skin. It's not so pale. Yeah, it definitely looks enhanced. Another little shot of the Leaper there. And now we got the Brute. Oh, I missed it. See if we get a better shot. There we go. That's a nice little shot of the brute. Damn. I mean, they don't look as chunky as the ones on the original, but you know, it's all good. Like, as long as what do you call it? The death scenes look good. I'm gonna be pretty happy. Oh, another shot of a slasher here. A little close up of the blades. That one's missing some parts of its blade. Maybe it got shot off in the battle. And now we get to the Leviathan. So yeah, nice little, what do you call it, lighting and all that stuff. I like that. Okay, I want to go back to the tentacles. So the tentacles look a little bit more meaty, essentially, than they did in the original. The original looked more like it was a mixture between, what do you call it, bones and skin, essentially. That's what the original looked like. Now it looks a lot more muscly sort of thing. It looks like, you know, it actually could be a part of several different bodies and all that stuff, which, that looks fucking sick. Yeah, it does. It does look sick. So yeah, you can see all like the skeletal bones and all that, the vertebrae. You can see all that there. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little design there. But does it have the glowing ball? Yes, it does. It does have the glowing, what do you call it, infected ball of crap there. It's all good. More purple. Well, that's because, like, what do you call it? When you, when somebody dies, essentially, or when a living creature dies, like, the muscles will go for a more purplish color, you know, depending on how long the corpse has been left there, sort of thing. It's all very accurate to a body's decomposition and all that stuff.
Humanity.
And now we have the new design for the marker. New design for the marker, which actually looks really cool. I like that, like, glow sort of thing. Because in the original, it did have a glow, but it wasn't, you know, like, the glow was very subtle. It wasn't very in your face. And I kind of like this new, like, I kind of like this new design for the marker. Marker actually looks red, you know. In the original, it looked crimson, like dark crimson, and slightly red. But what do you call it? In this one, it looks completely red with some what do you call it? Dark red in, like, what do you call it? The background, essentially. So most of it's covered in symbols and all that stuff, which is really nice. Okay, note I thought of, does every single symbol on the marker mean that if you took every single symbol and shoved it onto a a scientific equation, essentially, it would all come up with like a necromorph tissue? Or is it because, like, what do you call it? You've got so many symbols, yeah. Certain ones mean like the necromorph tissue, but the other ones mean, you know, it's the blueprint for a new marker. You know, that's an interesting little tidbit there.
Humanity will be made whole, Mr. Clark.
Oh my god. So as we can see here, we've got the marker being surrounded by corruption. Now this could be where we actually find the marker in the storage unit. A little bit of law breakage here, because, like, what do you call it? The marker exhibits a dormancy field, but maybe it's because it's inside that casing. The dormancy field cannot expand as it normally would. So maybe that's the whole deal with the whole story here. Hopefully that is the case, because if it's not, that'd be a bit of a what do you call it? That'd be a bit stupid. I think there's an alphabet for them. I mean, there's unitology alphabet in one of the guides. Yeah, there's a unitology alphabet, but it doesn't really come up with necromorph tissue, does it? So you got like a necromorph, what do you call it? Corruption filling the decks and all that stuff. That looks pretty cool. I'm assuming, like, because this kind of looks a little bit different from what the original storage unit actually looked like in Chapter 11. So this could possibly be, like, because remember in Dead Space Downfall, there was that area in the flight lounge where the marker was actually there. You know, like that's where the marker was. It was in the flight lounge in Dead Space Downfall. But in this, like, I mean, it does look similar, to be fair. It does look similar to the one in Dead Space Downfall. Like, the one in Dead Space Downfall. If I could just go to my YouTube channel right now. I'll try and find it.
Maybe they can tell us what's happening down.
Shush, we don't need any copyright here. It's gonna be around here somewhere. No. Bear with me here. So yeah, it kind of looks similar to, what do you call it? It kind of does look similar to the markers sort of thing here. It does look a lot similar to the area that the marker was in. We'll go back.
Planet whose lives may be in danger. Set the example.
So behind Samuel, you can see the marker in view. And it does look similar to this area. It does look pretty similar in comparison. That's where you go to give back the marker when you stasis to lift up the bridges. It could be. Could be. It does look similar to both, essentially. That could be where, what do you call it, we take the marker back to the pedestal. Or it could be on the flight lounge. From the design, it does look very much like the USG Ishimura, but I could be wrong. It could be the colony. Okay. But we also have a picture on the right, just cakes. Okay. So this could possibly be the colony, you know, because from the Dead Space lore, what do you call it? The USG Ishimura does not possess ways to create these, like, you know, does like bakery goods. It doesn't have a way to produce bakery goods. It only has a way to produce, say, for instance, vegetables and fruit, along with, what do you call it? Possibly a little meat processing area in the medical deck where they would grow their own meat as well. But that would probably be in hydroponics as well. So, yeah. Do not buy this game, get Callisto Protocol instead. How about don't tell me what to do? Yeah. I will get both, okay? So, I'm not going to play which one's got the bigger dick, essentially. So, I'm going to get both. See what both is about. I'm not really too happy with the Callisto Protocol at the moment because of what they've presented in their trailer. You know, like, because the Callisto Protocol, I want it to be its own original story, essentially. I want it to be its own thing. I want it to be separate from Dead Space. I like what Glenn brought to the field in Dead Space, but I don't want, you know, I don't want two versions of the fucking same story, if you get what I mean. I don't want two Dead Spaces. I want Dead Space and the Callisto Protocol. I want the Callisto Protocol to be something completely different. It'd be like if, say, for instance, Soma just ripped off Dead Space, you know? I would be pretty pissed, you know? Because that's what I'm going to buy the Callisto Protocol for, is a different experience, not, you know, just another, what do you call it, Dead Space, you know? But what they've brought to the table in their, what do you call it, trailer, doesn't exactly leave me with a lot of enthusiasm on the game itself. You know? So, yeah. I mean, like, EA wants money. I mean, like, what's the problem with that? I mean, I want money, you want money, like, we all want money, mate. It's all basically part of the same game, you know, isn't it? Just buy Call of Duty, yeah, haha, no, I'm good, thanks. Call of Duty, more like Call of the Rage, I mean, seriously. That fucking bastard's camping in the corner! Rah, rah, rah. So, yeah, like, pretty much like what I don't understand that whole concept, like, oh, EA just wants your money. EA wants your money. It's like, okay, and every game developer wants money. Why do you think they do it? Why do you think they make video games? Is because they actually have a passion for creating games? That and the fact that they want money. You know, I don't think Glenn Schofield would be making video games if it was, you know, I don't think he would be making video games for a company if he was, what do you call it, if it wasn't, you know, profitable towards him, essentially. So, you know, it's basically like that. But I do have a video coming out soon that will explain certain changes EA is making in its, what do you call it, company. If EA weren't arseholes, Callisto Protocol wouldn't exist. Here's the deal with that, yeah? EA is a business, we all know this. It's a massive corporation that has responsibilities to shareholders and, what do you call it, to investors, and on top of that, to its employees. So, say for instance, yeah, what happened sort of thing. They shut down Visceral Games. We all know this, you know, like there's no getting around that type of thing. But the main thing is that it was done for a reason. It wasn't done because out of malice or hatred towards any person of any particular group, essentially, was it? So I don't really see the whole point of constantly bringing up shutting down the studio, essentially, you know? But EA destroyed the series from shutting down the studio to turning Dead Space into co-op. Yeah, I see it from that point of view, but again, it's like, what good is there bringing the past up all the time? You know what I mean? Just say I warned you. Okay, you warned me. Well done, but this is not the, you know, this isn't Visceral Games making Dead Space. This is a different company that had worked with Visceral Games in the past. So, you know, appreciate your input, but, you know, this is a studio that has worked with Visceral Games when they were doing the Ragtag sort of project, and even helped in creating certain Dead Space games as well. So I think they are more than qualified to create a Dead Space experience. This game is going to die in a week. Well, I don't really think it will. I don't think YouTube or Twitch will let it die in a week, to be fair. You know, you're just saying that because you want the Callisto Protocol to succeed, and I can appreciate that from a certain point of view. But, like, at the moment, from where I'm standing, the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space, you know, like, they've both got issues. They both got their good sides, but the scales have tilted towards Dead Space for me personally, because Dead Space essentially, what do you call it? It looks to be a new experience, essentially. Like, not a different story, but a new experience. What do I mean by that? Well, you can see from the trailer that it's not just a copy and paste of the original game. Sure enough, it's not going to be a complete rehaul of the story, but the entire game has been built from the ground up, not just doing what other studios have done, which I think is the laziest form of a remaster or a remake, which is basically, what do you call it? Oh, we'll just take the original stuff, take the original engine, and then we'll just put a visual, remaster on top of that. But I do like the fact that you can switch between the two graphics sets. But at the end of the day, I don't buy remasters or remakes to swap between two different graphics sets, essentially. You know? I don't really want to be like, oh, so this is what 343 Guilty Spark used to look like, and now this is what it looks like at the click of a button. You know, I don't really like that whole thing. So an offline single player game can be dead. How does that make sense? Well, it's all in the name, isn't it? Dead Space will be dead on launch. Let's just be fair. Dead Space will be dead on launch because it's Dead Space. It's supposed to be dead. Dead Space 2 graphics look about the same. The same to what? What are we comparing Dead Space 2 graphics to? And Dead Space 2 graphics, not gonna lie, they have aged. You can see they've aged, you know. Sure enough, it still looks good, but we can definitely see a lot of pixels and all that shit still on the fucking textures. We can see a lot of, you know, differences and all that stuff in between designs. But if you're comparing Dead Space 2 graphics to this, then I sincerely say that you are delusional. Very delusional indeed. Because this does not look like Dead Space 2. This looks like Dead Space in, you know, in the next gen, essentially. I don't hate Dead Space. I hate EA for using nostalgia as an excuse to make money. That's not... like... Okay. Elico. Like, here's the deal, yeah. If I ran a pub sort of thing, and, what do you call it, I served a beverage, and I only served 5 beverages in this bar or pub, essentially, or this restaurant, and then I stop serving one of the beverages, people will probably be a bit like, oh, you're not serving that anymore? Oh, man, whatever. And then, like, what do you call it, 10 years later, I decide, you know what, actually, let's just stick it back on now. Would that me serving for, what do you call it, convenience? Or serving for nostalgia? Or serving because, hey, it's going to make me a lot of money? You know? It doesn't look like a blatant cash grab. You know, I'd show you what a blatant cash grab looks like if you want. I'll show you what a blatant cash grab looks like. This is a blatant cash grab. All Warcraft 3 Reforged. That's a cash grab. Okay? That's a cash grab. And look, it's my thing. Yeah, but it's a blatant, like, you know, blatant cash grabs are basically stuff like this. In Warcraft 3 Reforged, they advertised the game to be looking absolutely amazing, kind of like Dead Space is looking right now, sort of thing. You know, with this type of thing here, like with these type of graphics, essentially. But then what we actually got was, if I can find the necessary cutscene for it, just watch this for a second. So instead of having those type of cutscenes, like where it's like completely reimagined and it's completely like that sort of thing, what do you call it? instead of getting cutscenes that look as amazing, like this, for instance, yeah, it was advertised to look and to resemble shit like this. But instead, what we got was exactly the same experience as we had in, what do you call it, when Warcraft 3 came about, you know? So, they had, what do you call it, Warcraft 3 Reforged, Strathholm cutscene, yeah? This is the deleted, what do you call it, CGI cinematic that they brought about. This is what the game was supposed to look like when you got to a cutscene.
These people have all been infected.
This is what the game was supposed to look like when, you know, you got, what do you call it, to a cutscene, essentially. Like, you know, 3D models, not from the bird's eye view that we just saw. And instead we got the bird's eye view shit, but just with a paint job. That's a cash grab right there. And it comes from a company that I was very surprised to actually have done this to us, essentially. Which is Blizzard, essentially. No image. What do you mean, no image? Oh. That's because my... One second, I'll get it back up for you. Skids like, what do you call it, XSplit, has, it doesn't do that anymore. So, what do you call it? I'll just pop it back up for you. So, what do you call it? Give me 1 second, everyone. I will get it right now. 1 sec, I need to do this. Okay, so this is what the cutscene was supposed to look like. This is what they basically advertised it as.
This entire city must be purged.
And even on their website, they actually did say that there would be, what do you call it, at least 40 hours of, what do you call it, remastered cutscenes or stuff like that. You know, it was either 4 hours or 40 hours of remastered cutscenes, reimagined to look exactly like this, okay? But instead, what we got was, what do you call it? Instead, what we actually got was, if I can find a suitable thing. Instead, what we got was this. Which, this is a blatant cash grab, if you've ever seen one.
What trickery is this? Mal'Ganis! I don't know how you survived, but...
So, you know, that's a blatant cash grab right there. That is a blatant cash grab, if you ever seen one. So, basically, yeah. That's a blatant cash grab. You know, like, it's just the same game, but with a paint job. It's not remade. It's not remade, essentially. But, okay, I'll see you later, Khaled. Anyway, like, basically, when people say that this is a cash grab, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, you're listening to too many of those dumbass YouTubers that basically, I don't know, like, they've been taking too many steroids or some shit like that. But, basically, that's a cash grab. This doesn't look to be a cash grab. I mean, we won't know until the game actually does come out what we actually get. But I have faith that, what do you call it, what is presented here will resemble what we get in January. So, that's the whole deal with that. Damn, 62 viewers. Holy shit, that's like the most I've had in ages. But like, yeah. Game so far looks great. I mean, I will debate with any YouTuber that wants to debate with me about, you know, Dead Space not being a cash grab, or Dead Space versus the Callisto Protocol. You know, I will debate anybody. So, yeah. Cash grabs are normally, what do you call it, made with, cash grabs are normally things that are made, what do you call it, solely for just money in mind, essentially. I mean, obviously, EA wants to get money. It wants to succeed, essentially, like everybody does. I mean, like, you cannot tell me that there's not a single fucking person in the world that doesn't want to succeed and is just happy where the fuck they're at, you know? Because I guarantee you, no one is like that at all. No one is like 100% like, oh yeah, I'm perfectly happy the way I got. Like, you know, there's always something in their life or something in their business, essentially, that they would be willing to change for a better outcome. So I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. EA wants to make money, so they're changing things in order to, you know, what do you call it? They've reevaluated their whole system, essentially, so that, what do you call it, past mistakes will not happen again. And on top of that, will be more profitable for the future as well. Because if you make games that people want to play, essentially, if you make games people want to see, essentially, it's like the same thing with films. If you make films that people want to go watch, essentially, you're going to make a lot more money than making films that you just want to make, you know? It's as simple as that can be. So EA is now, what do you call it, become refocused on, what do you call it, on its whole thing. I mean, if I can find, what do you call it? How EA is transforming the way it makes video games. So I've made a script for this, but I'll read out this article towards people that are basically bitching and moaning about EA. Okay. I mean, I understand, you know, EA's had a lot of controversy in the past and all that stuff, but that's the past. You know what I mean? This is the here and now. You focus too much on the past, you will miss out what's coming in the future. So the article reads essentially, towards the end of last year, EA made a small, seemingly insignificant change, what do you call it, to its executive team. It made the firm's group general managers, the execs in charge of groups of EA's various studios, report directly to CEO Andrew Wilson, and it was a move made for one purpose, to bring the company's leader a step closer to those who actually make the games, essentially. The goal is to give a stronger voice to studio leadership, explains Samantha Ryan, who is the group GM for BioWare, Full Circle, Maxis, Motive, and a new studio in Seattle. The knowledge that folks like myself have been being in the thick of it with studios over 20 years is hard-earned. Ideally, that knowledge helps EA's leadership to stay close in touch with the needs of their studios. Ryan is a video games veteran, initially beginning in marketing. She went on to lead Shadow of Mordor developer Monolith before becoming SVP of development and production at Warner Brothers, overseeing huge teams such as Batman developer Rocksteady and Mortal Kombat studio NetherRealm. Today, she's tasked with leading the EA teams that aren't making Battlefield, racing games, or sports titles. And in these studios, you can see some of the new approaches the company is taking to game development. Perhaps the most obvious change is in some of the games they are making. Full Circle is working on resurrecting the Skate series, while Motive is remaking the horror game Dead Space. These are franchises that EA had previously decided to move on from. They have cult followings, but the lack of commercial potential of, say, a FIFA or a Formula 1. Both Dead Space and Skate have been fan requests for a long time, Ryan notes. See, that's the thing, like, that is an important that is very, very important to note. It's a very important thing to note here that, what do you call it? EA, like, what do you call it? Has been requested to make a Dead Space game for the last 10 years. So when people say that, oh, Dead Space doesn't need a remake and all that stuff, you don't know what you're talking about as well. Like, the fact of the matter is, yeah, when you play the original Dead Space, if you just play it for like what, like, oh yeah, you revisit it every 5 years, you're not going to see the glaring issues. But if you play it as much as I've played it, essentially, or as much as other people in the speedrunner community have played it, you can see some glaring issues that do take place. Like, say, for instance, you stasis, but you stasis really fast. Sometimes, in the heat of the battle, essentially, you are going to stasis, like, what do you call it? You're going to use stasis pretty quickly, essentially, especially if you're backed up into a corner. So, basically, what do you call it? Basically, what was I going to say? Yeah, in Dead Space, if you're backed up into a corner and the necromorphs have got you on the wrong run and you want to use stasis really quickly, sometimes it will just flop out of your hand and it will just go on the floor. Or sometimes it will phase through enemies without even doing anything to them. Or sometimes it will go in a random direction. So, stuff like that, yeah, is a glaring issue as well. Certain things like, say, for instance, the line gun locks up if you use it too often, which I think is bullshit. You know, you should be able to use a weapon as much as you possibly want, and it doesn't make it overpowered at all, you know? Many glaring issues with the story as well, like every single installment of Dead Space, essentially, overrides what came before. Like, say, for instance, if I was to talk about say, for instance, in Dead Space, Nicole apparently dies in, what do you call it? Imaging diagnostics. In that room where you put a power node into the door and you go in there and it looks exactly like where she died, you know? However, in, Dead Space Extraction, she doesn't die there. She actually dies in, actually, no, Dead Space Downfall, she's in a completely different area of the ship at that point, where she would have sent a message to Isaac. So, and no, you get out of here. You get out of here. Nobody wants to see that. But, like, yeah, basically, in Dead Space Downfall, she's in a completely different area of the ship. She's below the bridge near the computer core, which is kind of a weird place for Nicole to be quite honest with you. Because it said that the medical deck was one of the last places to be affected by the outbreak. So, yeah. Well, not to be affected by the outbreak, but you know what I mean, overran, essentially. It was one of the last places to fall to the outbreak. Of course, it did have its areas where it did get, like, say, for instance, the morgue did get overrun by necromorphs. But I'm talking about the entire deck at this point. But then in Dead Space Extraction, she's in a completely different area of the medical deck. She's, in, I think it's in Mercer's laboratory that she dies in the Extraction. But then in the Extraction comics, she's in sickbay too. So, a lot of rewrites essentially happen there. I mean, there is a certain person on my channel that will try to say, "Hey, no, it all makes sense within the continuity," you know. And then, in Dead Space Martyr, they start coming out with, oh yeah, the human race. They try to build that narrative that the human race was created by aliens and implanted with a genetic defense mechanism against the markers, in hopes that the human race will eventually defeat the markers. You know, that was the whole storyline arc that Dead Space was going down. But then in Dead Space, and also with the recombinant life form, being the only thing that was to create necromorphs at that point. Because there was nowhere in Dead Space, it didn't say it in Dead Space, it didn't say it in, what do you call it? Dead Space Extraction, Dead Space Martyr, not even Dead Space Salvage. But then in Dead Space Aftermath, there's something to do with a carrier wave. The marker produces a carrier wave that basically creates necromorphs, you know? And then in Dead Space 2, they completely do away with the genetic, defense mechanism. There's no mention of it at all, you know? It's more focused on what the marker signal does to certain people. So basically, instead of, some people have immunity because they have a stronger immune system sort of thing. No, it's because the people are different. That's why you get different results with different people. That's what Dead Space 2 brought to the table, you know? And then in Dead Space 3, it's not the markers that are the root source of the fucking evil. It's the moons that are the root source that control the markers, controlling where they, send their marker signal. So there's a lot of different rewrites to the series, essentially. And it's very frustrating for someone like myself to create lore videos for, because the storyline over the years has changed dramatically, in the background. Series didn't need a reboot, it just needed a remake, so it puts everything back into a continual story, essentially, focusing on the same plot points, not changing things because, whatever, really, Don't the markers cause delusions, so they couldn't just justify the plot by saying people were hallucinating? No, the marker, the marker essentially installs insomnia into the person by producing many visions and dreams towards the person that many people would find disturbing, essentially. So people would wake up and only get an hour's sleep every night, which would develop into a case of insomnia. And then people would complain that they can't sleep, they would become depressed from it. And eventually, because of the lack of sleep, they begin to hallucinate. But then, the marker, but this was completely done away. This was completely done away with Dead Space 2's, the apparitions are, like this. In Dead Space Extraction, oh, come off it, Joey. Come on, man. You can go through the entire thing. You know it has changed. Come on. Seriously, Joe, you need to, actually, nothing was changed. The signal works with the recombinant in Dead Space 2. They had remains of necromorphs stored in the mind's biomass, already necromorph tissue. Yeah, but where does it say that, where does it say that the outbreak, where does it say the origins, essentially, Joey? There's no mention of an origin point, essentially. Obviously, we can make we can basically create an origin point using background knowledge and all that stuff. You haven't understood it, both the signal and recombinant. No, I think it's you that haven't understood it. I mean, it's kind of funny that you go around, telling everybody that, oh, no one understands Dead Space. I understand Dead Space, Seriously. I mean, can you reference a log at all that explains the origin point of the, outbreak in Titan Station? There's another guy, Reforged Gaming, he was also complaining about the graphics too. Well, what's there to complain about the graphics? The graphics look great, The gene sequence creates a new life form that one uses the marker's energy. Once again, Joey, you do not cite your sources, essentially. One day you're going to have to cite your source, man. You can't just come out here and say, oh, the marker does this, the moons do this, the necromorphs do that, without citing the source at all. Oh yeah, that does look kind of weird, don't it? Like the guy isn't, what do you call it? The guy basically is not, I'll find it. I will find it. Source for what? What you fucking talk about, Joey? Come on, get it together, mate. Come on. Like you say, nothing was changed. The signal works with the recombinant in Dead Space 2. They had the remains of the necromorph stored in the mines biomass already necromorph tissue. Where is your source? God damn it, man. Like, seriously, like, it's like talking to a child at this point. Like, I sit here and say, you need to cite your sources. Where's the log for this? And you say, what do you say? You said, source for what? It's like, dude, come on. Dude, it's not the moons that are the source. The markers are facilitators. It's the signal that is the enemy, not the moons. The moons are bodies. Yeah, but in Dead Space 2, they did produce a log that does state that the markers do not produce the signal. They are only the recipients of the signal. The signal comes from the moons. Simple as that can be. Where is the lamb sauce? Yeah, so this point. Yeah, this guy is what you're talking about, is the guy that isn't torn to shreds. Yeah, I don't like that sort of thing. I don't like it. But it does create, like, what do you call it, many questions at that point. Is like, why is he banging his head against the wall? But we already seen the necromorphs at that point, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. You made a video on the outbreak of Titan Station, did you not? Saying that the mines were the source of the outbreak. Yeah, it was the source. You know, there is a log that does state that the outbreak is the source, not specifically what caused the outbreak. You know, like, I don't like to argue with you, Joey, but some of the shit you do say is kind of weird, how you've twisted certain things. Like, say, for instance, you say that Stross creates the recombinant life form when he actually doesn't, you know? Instead, he exposes a corpse to the marker shard, and it turns into a necromorph. He doesn't inject it with anything. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't create a recombinant life form, essentially. He doesn't create necromorph tissue. He just lets the marker go ham on a corpse. And on top of that, before you start typing away there like a keyboard warrior, he actually indeedly does, like, what do you call it? The marker indeedly does end up creating more necromorphs in the morgue without a recombinant life form. So yeah, there was indeedly a rewrite at that point. Of course, the necromorphs are recombinants. No one's saying that they aren't, essentially. And I'll go over that in my revision of the lore at some point. But yeah, the necromorphs are recombinant, obviously, because like the infectors and all that stuff, you know, they recombinate corpses and all that stuff. Okay, so why did the shard turn the bodies so fast? Okay, so do you really want to watch a film with a pacing issue of, oh yeah, let's just, what do you call it? Let's have a scene where we slowly see the transformation. In the backstory logs, the transformation essentially happens over days. It doesn't happen over, what do you call it? It doesn't happen over a select period, essentially. You know what I mean? Come on, dude, the recombinant is made to speed things up because the marker is slow to turn. Correct. That's how I thought of it before, but not anymore. Like, you know. Basically, the whole reason that, what do you call it, there is a fast transformation in Dead Space Aftermath is because it's because of pacing issues with the film. You know? Do you really want to have a 2-hour segment of a film, yeah, completely dedicated to a, what do you call it, a corpse transforming into a necromorph? I mean, come on, seriously. Like, I'd love to see them add little references from the film, maybe in notes or logs. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see that as well, man. That'd be absolutely cool. That'd be awesome. You know, this kind of reminds me of people that say, like, I'm not crazy, you're crazy, sort of thing. They go around telling everyone else that they're crazy, they're not crazy, they're crazy, sort of thing. You know, this whole thing reminds me of that. You go around telling everybody that, oh, you have not understood the law, you have not understood this, you haven't understood that. You go to big YouTubers like Installation00 and tell them that they don't know anything that they're talking about with Halo, for instance. And yes, you have commented this shit to me before. You know, we have had a discussion about that shit before. So, before you go ahead and deny that stuff. But in reality, it's you that does not understand the law, essentially. Okay, so Joey, explain this to me, yeah? Just explain why there are differences in certain things. You say that there are no retcons, no rewrites, or anything like that. So how come Nicole ends up dying in 3 different locations throughout the media? Explain that one to me. If there are no rewrites or anything like that. If you're such a wizard with the law, and I'm just a humble peasant, essentially. Oh my fucking god, Joey, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but you're just pissing me off at this point now. Oh my fucking god, Joey, do you not know what an air embolism is? Oh my fucking god, Joey. Hey Helios, you still think this guy isn't trolling? Do you not know what an air embolism is? An air embolism is essentially someone injecting themselves with nothing but air, and it blocks the artery that they stick it in, essentially. It blocks that, it will block the, what do you call it, the blood getting from other parts of the body. Seriously, come on. Seriously, bro. And you tell me that I don't know anything that I'm talking about. You tell me that, oh, are you still thinking he's not trolling? Fuck off. What happened with Installation 00? Well, Joey would tell me that people like Installation 00, Hidden Xperia, have no clue about what the fuck they're talking about with certain parts of the lore of Halo, even though that they've gone out of their ways to create massive channels, you know, with databases of the entire history of Halo. So, seriously, Nicole dies apparently in imaging diagnostics. She apparently dies in Sickbay 2. Sickbay 2. She apparently dies, what do you call it, in an area of extraction that we explored before, beneath the morgue. Where is it referenced that it was an air? Oh my fucking god, really? You are just making yourself look so stupid right now. If you inject yourself with nothing but air inside of a frickin' needle... What is that called? Oh my fucking god, Joey, you are just taking the piss now, ain't you? You destroy your credibility here, man. Come on. We see her in the first game inject herself, where in the other material do we see the same thing in different rooms? Oh my god. Seriously? Oh my god, Joey. You know what? I feel like I've completely destroyed your argument here. I'm not going to proceed any further with this. You want me to show him the clip, do you? Like, and of course we have adverts. Obviously. Just gonna mute this. I can't be bothered listening to that shit. I forgot this live stream is about reacting to the trailer. Yeah, it was about reacting to the trailer, but certain people have to come in and, you know, try to prove me wrong about certain things. So where is the cutscene? We gotta go to... Ah, for fuck's sake, really? It's not even on my fucking XSplit. God damn it, man. Why can't you just show... Or better yet, you know what? I'll just go with desktop capture. That's what I'll do. A bit too far. And here she goes with the that's their space. Yeah. Is there an actual definite point where she actually does? Is there an actual scene here? I don't want to have to skim through someone else's playthrough at this point. Probably gonna have to.
Honestly, I think he's enjoying. It's from medical.
From medical, see?
Nicole, it's McNeil. Listen, we found.
Okay, no. You got me there. She does die in the exact same place as it was shown in Dead Space, okay? Apologies for that one, okay? Everyone, I'm sorry for getting that one point wrong, okay? She doesn't die in a different area of the ship. She dies in the exact same place as Dead Space puts it. However, a later piece of media would state that she doesn't die in, what do you call it, this area. She actually dies in a different area. So...
No! What's she doing? What's... Oh, no! Nicole, no!
No! Damn it, Nicole!
No!
And you can judge from their reaction that she is indeedly killing herself.
I'm sorry. we should go.
Boom, she goes limp. She goes fucking limp. See? She goes fucking limp. You can see it right there. Goes limp. Ha! I'm worse than EA. Yeah, I'm totally worse than EA, right? Cha-ching. Where's he gone? Is he still here? Yeah, you're still here, Joey, but you're not saying anything. Where are you gone, man? You going on vacation? Ah, shit, wrong part. I don't want to go to that. I wanted to go to read comic online. Crystal blocker. So from this, oh, come on, come on. Actually, oh, bollocks, I can't go back now. Crystal blocker, get out of it. So this is the point where extraction, essentially. This is the point where extraction, what do you call it? The characters from extraction leave, and this is where Nicole's tale begins after the extraction crew has left. Go away, Crystal. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. Why are you doing this to me? I've gone over the fucking point where it says sick bay 2. God damn it. Sick bay 2. See? Sick bay 2. She never leaves the sick bay 2. There's no other location that she goes to. She's in sick bay 2. See? No other location here. And this is where she kills herself. Or ends her life, if YouTube doesn't want me to say that. So, yeah. Fuck me, man. It's so exhausting having to debate these people. Think I don't know anything. Joey real quiet, dude, getting his proven material right now. Don't count on it. Don't you count on it. I wouldn't be counting on it anytime soon anyway. Lisa Vincent appears in Dead Space Extraction and the Dead Space Extraction comic. No, it doesn't, what do you call it, show her corpse in the comic. Yeah, I know, people appreciate what I do and all that stuff. It's just that people they're getting on my nerves, essentially. I like, they bring up so much shit, essentially, like, oh, where does it say that she had an air embolism? Where does it say this? Where does it say that? It's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you know? With the marker existing, it's easy to just retcon everything and say that it was delusions, it's just a theory, I don't know as much about the lore as you. I mean, like, if I'm ever, what do you call it? If I ever, like, feel like, oh, I don't really know much about this, let's go have a look at the wiki. Simple as that can be. I use the wiki as a background source, essentially. So if I don't know something, like if I don't know something off by heart, essentially, I'll go and research it, you know? Certain other people just don't do that, you know? I guess it's because, what do you call it, there are certain people out there, a minority among fans, that want Dead Space to have a continuous, like, story that all makes sense, essentially. But unfortunately, it just doesn't, you know? There's certain things in the entire Dead Space story that doesn't, you know, make sense with the, what do you call it, the continuity. I mean, even, like, Joey's even gone so far as to try and contact EA Motive, trying to find out if they know if there's a continuous story and there was no retcons, you know? I don't think he got a response, but, you know, it's basically like that. Michael does live for Reforged Gaming. Can you link me to that? Or better yet, can you put it in the Discord? Can you put it in the Discord, Capt? Or Jimmy, or whoever's going to give me the link. What? Oh. Still got quite a lot of viewers here. Yeah, without sources. What if, and hear me out, surprise Easter egg necromorph that has a slight glint or pieces of looking like Nicole? You gotta take it out. That'd be kind of cool, to be fair. Like something that slightly resembles Nicole. I think it's better not to make a necromorph special. I like that she could have been any one of the things that we slaughtered. Nice, yeah. Lore edit. Nah, it's got to be wrong. It's just when you start trying to correct someone whose channel covers tons about it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Seriously, what the fuck, Joey? Without sources. Oh, as he once said, clueless people. Once said, clueless people. I mean, yeah, I've made my fucking mistakes and all that stuff with the lore, essentially. Certain things I have even said in my timeline, like, oh, the Secession Wars? Oh, yeah, they weren't in the war. I actually listened to Joey on that one. You know, I blindly listened to him about that because he sat there and said to me, yeah, that the Secession Wars weren't really a war, you know, or sovereign colonies. Think about it, sovereign colonies. But the sovereign colonies were the, what do you call it, the predecessors to the Earth government. Sure enough, there was a Earth government, like, what do you call it, on Earth, essentially, while the reign of the sovereign colonies were about, but it wasn't the Earth Gov that we know today, essentially. It wasn't that, you know, institution. It wasn't that organization. It was simply just a smaller, you know, a smaller thing, essentially. Like, say, for instance, what's it called? What's it called? Something Kingdom, a Valiant Kingdom or something like that. Basically, like that sort of thing, you know, like they're still underneath their rule, essentially. But the sovereign colonies do, you know, they own humanity at that point. You know, they are the faction that is humanity. The markers could be retconned as advanced AIs who, like the Reapers from Mass Effect, just want to kill all organic life to create a galactic civilization of robots. Maybe. Thoughts about the remake Collector's Edition runner? Remakes Collector's Edition. Okay. is my remote? There it is. Let's have a look and see if it's on the marketplace. Oh my god, seriously? Let's go to HDMI, please. Go to the HDMI. There we go. Thank you. Marketplace. I actually bring this up on my thing right now, so you guys can see. Capture card. Capture card. There you go. Wow, really? Contrast has just gone all the way back down, isn't it? Default. Thank you. Ah, my eyes. My eyes. OMG. Audio not built in. It should really be this at default. So, yeah. Let's go to the store and have a look for the Dead Space remake, yeah? Okay. That's not good. Oh, here it is. Wow, $62.99. Huh. So what does it have, essentially? Pre-order Dead Space digital... Fuck's sake. So, yeah. Pre-order Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition and receive 1 month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, new members only. Play hundreds of high-quality games with... Oh, yeah, okay, fuck it. Oh, is that really all you get in this? Oh, yeah, pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition and you just get a 1 month Xbox Game Pass? Really? I guess that's good for people that don't have the Game Pass, but really? I would have thought it'd be more. Hmm. Well, I know that I will not be getting that one. Why can't they just do this stuff? Hang on a minute. Let me just have a look. Okay, Dead Space. What's it called? Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade. Okay. So, let's get off of here for now. There we go. So, what do you call it? For the Xbox, the Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade. The Dead Space Digital Deluxe... oh, fuck's sake. The Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade includes the 5 exclusive cosmetics, 3 unique suits, and 2 suit textures. It's everything you need to look your best while surviving the horrors aboard the USG Ishimura. Okay. So, if you get the Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade, you get 3 unique suits and 2 suit textures. That's interesting. So that's what you get in the thingy. That is indeedly what you get. What new plot twists do you think the remake will have, since we already know the secrets from the original game? I don't think they're going to have any new plot twist in the game, essentially, because it's a remake. It's not a reboot, sort of thing. So it's going to be the same story. It's just not going to be 100% the same, essentially. It's going to be the same with the story, just not the same with the graphics and the layout of the ship as well. So basically going to be like that. It doesn't say it there, but the digital deluxe, yeah, we got there. From the Limited Run Games website, the collector's edition I'm talking about. Okay. Seriously, I dislike having to pre-order content to get extra content. Yeah. I'd rather wait and see what those suits actually look like, to be fair. Because, personally, I'm going to go through the game without any cosmetic upgrade at all. Well, not any cosmetic upgrade, but you know what I mean? I'm not going to go through my first playthrough with DLC, If I want to get DLC afterwards, then I'll go and do that, but if it's just going to be suits, then, sorry, no, I'm not going to go with that. I mean, there's only really one suit that I think we can all agree that I want to use. The military rig. I kind of want to know the unique suits and skins before pre-ordering. Yep. Agreed. Hope we get good physical collector's edition with a nice statue, art book, and steel case. I remember Dead Space 3's even having a small med kit. Nice. Okay, let's have a look at Discord. Hopefully there won't be another dick pic. No, not announcements. Self-promotion. A lot of Helios' stuff. Meme trailer. Technical jump scare. Fucking hell, how longer do I have to fucking scroll? You know what, fuck it, I can't be bothered scrolling, If you have it, just stick it in there again, no pun intended. Today has been a wild day, not gonna lie. I hope the next trailer has a kin to short demo like the Callisto Protocol one. Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping for. I was hoping for an actual live stream, but apparently not. Apparently we don't get live streams. Apparently we just get the trailer now, and that's it. That's all we're good for. There won't be any microtransactions. If you're looking for that shit, you have to go to Dead Space 3 for that. Yeah, hopefully there'll be side quests. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, I think it's time for fate to take over, essentially. I think it's time for fate, essentially, to take over with this whole thing. And to let YouTube decide my fate, essentially, with this, the dick pics. Honestly, though, I should have been more careful, to be fair. I really should have been a little bit more careful. Like, oh, someone says, oh, someone's posted a dick pic. And what do? I go straight to Discord and show the dick pic, for fuck's sake. That's gotta be like the biggest blunder in the history of blunders there. With Dead Space getting a remake, do you think the same for Dead Space Extraction remake? Could be a possibility. Who knows? You know, like it's too early to say about more Dead Space remakes, but if the Dead Space remake actually sells well, essentially, we could see another Dead Space remake coming out soon, you know? I think Extraction is, you know, the one that needs a remake, you know? Dead Space Extraction is definitely one that deserves a remake, you know? So, yeah. Well, let's see, like, YouTube will either give me a choice with strikes. They'll say, hey, you can either take this video down, or we can strike it, you know? So, you know, I'm not really worried about that. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head off now. So, yeah. Unfortunately, there is no music because I cleared out my audio library. So, yeah. Apologies for that. What is Dead Space Extraction? Dead Space Extraction basically is what do you call it? It's a Wii game for Dead Space. So it's an arcade shooter with the Wii remote. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna head off now, guys. I'm gonna go and go to the shop, get a drink, and probably start working on editing the next lore video. And yeah, like at some point, I'm going to be working on a new versus with hopefully Helios, Cat from Speedrunning, and One Shot. Next week I'll be recording for that, so that'll be going through the entirety of the Dead Space trilogy, hopefully. On top of that whole thing, what do you call it? Yeah, I want to try and write the next What If for the, what do you call it, audio series, hopefully. That's going to be good. Not going to spoil it, but, you know, I've been thinking of something in the background. It's kind of tough, though, to see what happens in this one because, well, certain motivations and all that stuff. But it'll be good. I'd say it would be good. Anyway, I'll see you all on the next one. If you guys did enjoy, I would appreciate you hit a like on the video, stream, whatever. Comment something down below. Tell me what your favorite part was. Obviously, the part where I got fucking blasted by a fucking cock. So, yeah. Sign up to join the British Alliance today by hitting that subscribe button and ringing in the notification bell so you're always updated about when new content comes up. And, yeah, if you guys want to, hit that join button as well and see if you can see if you want to become a elite member of the channel today. And I'll see all of you on the next one. And yes, thank you, Hammond, and every other member of the channel for your extra mile support. So I really do appreciate you all. Anyway, I'll see you all among the cosmos, and be sure to have a good one. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and peace out and take care. Thank you everyone that hung out and all that stuff. Really do appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully next time, you know, hopefully I'll see you all very soon. Peace out, everyone.